Hi everybody, welcome to G4G here on YouTube. Today we're taking a look at DC Legends, and we're taking a look at some of the changes that have gone into place towards the middle and end of this week, and that is some changes with the Void Scanner and these new legendary missions. So, the first time I did a Void Scanner, I got another Green Lantern ring, which meant I could do the scan again. So it's kind of like spending $1 on a lottery ticket and then winning $1 back. So I'm due up for another free scan in about, 3/4 of an hour or so. The first time I won another scan, so we'll use my replenished scan. And I got 300 essences, and if I wanted to, I could scan again for 250 and still earn 50. So that's actually, that's kind of a nice little rotation there, that I could get a scan and then earn a scan and essentially earn another scan over here. But it looks like 20 Hal Jordan fragments. That's pretty cool. That's what I got. Another battery charge. 5 level 3s is not awful. 10 level 3s would be really nice. Emotional spectrum energy. So there's some rewards over here. There's some hope energy. It seems worth it. It's a nice little daily spinner. Or, multi daily spinner, kind of like the 4-hour crystals in Marvel Contest of Champions. So, it's going to be worth your while to try to do this. And it's going to be a decision when you get the 300 essences if you want to replenish and then just scan again. Or just take your 300 and go home. You could spend 250 out of your 300 and get 300 again. So, it's always worth it. 2 arena battle energies. I was hoping that would be regular energy, but maybe if you've done a bunch of arenas, that's when you want to come in here, because maybe you can recharge it. So let's take a look at the legendary mission. So when you do all of your dailies, you unlock these new purple missions or legendary missions, and you can still scroll down and see where your dailies have been done. And then you see these new legendaries. Now, I had ranked up a hero already, some levels, so it's automatically giving me retroactive credit. So let me explain. While I was doing my normal dailies, I was ranking up Killer Frost. I ranked her up several levels. And apparently the credit not only counted for the normal dailies, but it spilled over into the legendary dailies even before I unlocked it. And all of this progress was actually done while doing normal dailies. So that's pretty good. It doesn't start you at square zero and then expect you to do all this shit. It actually gives you credit for what you've done during that 24-hour reset period. So that's pretty cool. So let us collect faster than a speeding bullet. And we get 100 legendary essences and 50,000 normal essences. Not that you really need them for something. So let's see. It's not telling us how many rank ups you need to do. Because there's the rank up, use the XP meta. Yeah. So collect mystical essences 5 times. This one should be easy enough. It recharges quick enough. Even if you're only getting like 800 essence, you'll probably get this one every day. 50 hero fragments is clearly bullshit. We all know the RNG in this game, and the chances of even getting, one fragment when you're hitting up a heroic, you're 3 times and everything like that. So the chances of getting 50 are pretty bad. There may be some days where, depending upon the hero challenge you have, or maybe if you got anything in the store, you'll be able to get this. But I do not think people will get this on a normal basis over here. And your rewards are 250 of the legendary essences, 5 willpowers, and 10 speed forces. That's a decent payout. More powerful than a locomotive, starting 25 on heroic. Again, not one I really see people doing during a 24-hour period unless they are paying to recharge it. Um, and then maybe even adding energy from an outside source. But I don't know that people will have the energy to do 25 heroic battles in a 24-hour time period. Then you have 40 normals. I should say 40 on any. And again, let's see the rewards. 300,000. So that's really good. And 100 essences, 70 essences for that one. So I mean, there's 170 out of those two. And then you get 1,200 legendary if you do them all. 25 PvP battles. So now, for some reason, this wasn't retroactive. I had done 2 PvP battles for my daily. I don't know why. I don't know why why it didn't get credit there, but I got credit for all the others. And upgrade gear on a hero. Again, I can imagine some days you will hit that mark, and then some days you won't, because 6 is a lot. So this is what I was working on before Killer Frost. I leveled her up, and it seems like that quest also is not retroactive. Did I pass the upgrade gear on a hero? So yeah. Some days I think you can hit the 6, especially if somebody was new to you, but hitting 6 every single day is really going to deplete your resources. And if you're a high level player, you're probably like, I don't have anybody to really upgrade. And honestly, the payout seems one of the weakest, but on some days, it's going to be the easiest thing I think you could possibly do out of all this. So, there's a look at the legendary missions. They're going to be tough. I think some of them you will be able to do maybe daily with a considerable amount of effort. And other ones, I believe, you're just going to have those days where you do, like where you log in and you're given 20 fragments. And that always counts. So, I don't see any of them actually being daily for people. I really don't. So, some of my heroes need to get a little bit of a boost here. Poison Ivy, she's now up to 4 stars. And I now have her with her cross-pollination, which I talked about in a previous video. This allows you to copy buffs from somebody and apply them to the team. And I have tested it so far with the 6 mends from Mera on somebody. And she is capable of replicating those mends all around the place. So that is that's a pretty wicked combo right there. My Zatanna's leader. All allies have a 32% chance to gain 15% turn meter if they debuff the energy. Now, With the Siren cloning, or excuse me, with Poison Ivy cloning buffs, that happens to be really good when Cyborg is leading because all allies have a 30% chance to gain 7% turn meter if buffed. So you could do something like a team sport on himself and then replicate it to the team, or better yet, honestly, the 6 mends from Mera is one of the best things you can do. And then with a Cyborg lead, you might literally be injecting your team with turns. Just simply from replicating such a massive amount of buffs on somebody. Or rather, you know, a good chunk of the team. So, I've already gone through, and this is, I mean, I do understand that once Poison Ivy goes away, the intense energy drain of going through all the ones that, you know, drop her fragments and you can't refresh, unfortunately. So you're left just farming the older ones to death if you want to get her fragments. And you know, if you're hitting a brick wall here. I have not actually attempted these guys. It just didn't look, I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't win. Well, apparently my power would technically be a lot better, but just seeing the legendaries, I don't know, it just feels like it'll be a little bit of a waste. But I may come around and try it. So what I want to do now is we'll go into the Samurai Warrior Challenge, and we will see if we can do the Poison Ivy mend replication here. So you can see an example of that. First thing I want to do is we'll use the number 4 slot to orchestrate a team. So we're actually kind of in place here, except for the fact that Zaytan is leading. Let's see, special heroes bonus for Supergirl. I can bring, could I bring in Supergirl for this week 1? Yeah, we'll try it. And we'll take, we might need, see, the thing is we might need the heals though. Siren's probably going to be overkill, but we'll go with this team just to take a look at the Poison Ivy buff replication here. And I think the way the turn order went is that Mera is faster than Poison Ivy, so she can get out the buffs very early and have the buffs out ahead of Poison Ivy. It's a very, very long cooldown. That is the trade-off, is that it's a super long cooldown. So you want to make sure you get the most bang for your buck on that. She do 2 affinity resistances. Alright, we'll do that. And this is kind of new. You get a little tooltip down here that tells you what the unit is like. Oh, I didn't. Well, let's see. Alright, so Siren has double buffs of evasions, affinity, and affinity. So I didn't bring Siren here. Excuse me, I didn't bring Mera here, so I'm not going to be able to clone 6 mends. But we will go ahead and try to clone that. So apply stamina up and copy up to 3 random buffs from an ally onto the rest of the team. So we'll pick her. And there we go. Now Poison Ivy, who had nothing, has the evasions up and the affinity up. Yeah. So a question was posed on one of my videos earlier in the week or late last week. Could you use that forced tanking ability that Poison Ivy has, and we'll take a look at that in a moment, and put it on Huntress with heavy evasion. 50% damage if an ally is below. No, nobody's below, so. God, Supergirl is just bad. I've sort of lost my train of thought there. Oh, Huntress, yeah. Can you make Poison Ivy have Huntress do the tanking, and because of her ridiculous amount of evasions, so that's apply taunt and stamina to a teammate. So, with the, amount of evasion stacks that she get, you can make her essentially taunt by Poison Ivy setting her up to be a tank. And hopefully the evasion just makes people miss. That's the intent. Well, if you wanted to go even further, is you can still bring Huntress. Again, bring Cyborg for the if you're buffed stuff. And then bring Poison Ivy, who makes her the tank. And if you have somebody else that can give, the team or a single member evasion, that's even better, because now she gets evasion from an external source. Aside from her level 2, now she's getting the evasion from somebody else, and she's being forced to tank via Poison Ivy. So that could be, that could be a really fun combo to try to work out. So you'd have Poison Ivy in there, you'd have Huntress in there, you'd have Cyborg leading, and then in this final spot, you would want to have somebody who could potentially create evasion ups on another hero. So there's that tooltip. That's pretty cool. Because when you're sitting there looking at, you're looking at a grunt and you're like, what exactly do these guys do? I think this is one of the taunt guys. I don't know. He taunted. Yeah, it's a taunt guy. So we managed to get 5 for that. And we have to get up to 40. And that is how you will unlock Katana over there. So right here, the first 2 is 10. That gets you just about halfway done with getting her. So there you go, guys. There is a look at the new Legendary Dailies, which I think some days you'll be able to do some of them, but every average day it might be nearly impossible to get more than just 1 or 2 of those done. We have the new Void Scanner, kind of like a Candy Crush spin the wheel deal. You're also going to want to collect from the Essence Collector, see, 2 more minutes, whenever you can. Even if you just get a tiny amount, you are adding to the challenges and everything. And, get that money high so that you can do a lot of stuff and stand a chance. I think that about wraps it up for me. Currently in the store is Supergirl packs, which I've heard she's actually really, really trash until she becomes legendary, and then she's good. But I wouldn't quote me on that. We have an $8.50 sale from Mera, 10 to 30 fragments. We have the Killer Frost pack. And then the other thing I need to do, so I've been saving up to get a 1K arena pack. So we're going to take a look at that now. I would like some Huntresses, and then anything in the rare category, to be honest. So we'll see what the 1K does. Sinestro. That's it. 16 Sinestros and some gear up crap. Wow, that is sadly disappointing. That was really, really disappointing that I just sat around and waited to do that to record for a video. So I've been holding off on that so that it would make the video, and I got fucking commons. And Sinestro is very farmable too. Use battle essences to collect 16 hero fragments from the void. Best chance to collect exclusive arena heroes. That's a shame, unfortunately. So, yeah, you may not want to go ahead and keep building up for the mega arenas and maybe just cap out at the big arenas, which is what I'd been doing before. And actually can do again, so since the first one was a disappointment. 8 Banes. Whatever. Again, in the common. So that about wraps it up for me, guys. Just wanted to touch base with you on a few of the changes. See, now Essence Collector's available. So 5 of the essences during a day should be easy. 50 hero fragments is going to be, I think, near impossible. Unless you have ridiculously high stamina. And then in, however many minutes, I can collect a small amount again. And then that would give me from the void. And I probably could complete up, and away today. Based on some of what I was seeing for my heroes and whatnot. But that certainly will come later. I think I'll have more energy back when the Ivy one goes away and we go back to the older routine of hero challenges rather than this kind of Spec Opsy one. Not that I am complaining, because I really like Poison Ivy and I think she's been one of the most interesting characters in terms of her moveset that these guys have invented for a while. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.